What is going on, guys? I'm Miguel from UCGym.com, bringing you the next episode of the Muscle Anatomy series, and today we're covering calves. So the calves are also referred to as the triceps surae. It's referred to as the triceps because it has three heads, or there's three muscle groups in the calf. So there are two main muscle groups in the calf, and then there's two heads of one muscle group in the calf. So the gastrocnemius is a two-headed muscle group in the calf. It's these two masses right here, and if you have pretty large calves or really toned or defined calves, you can see the two heads, and they're pretty distinguishable. And then beneath the gastrocnemius, you have the soleus, which is this muscle down here. It's underneath the gastrocnemius, it's deep to it, and it's kind of like in a flounder shape. And the word soleus is derived from a word meaning sandal in Greek, so it has sort of a sandal slash flounder shape. And these empty spaces or the dotted lines are tendons slash connective tissue, which connect the muscle to the bone. So where the gastrocnemius originates is on the femur, and it inserts into the Achilles tendon, which then inserts into your heel. So the gastrocnemius crosses two joints, and it crosses two joints so it has two functions. So the gastrocnemius carries on the function that the hamstring has to a certain extent, where it helps flex the knee. So if you've ever done seated leg curls or a seated, just basically leg curls, you're gonna feel your gastrocnemius or your calves getting pretty activated, and there's really nothing you can do about it since the gastrocnemius helps with that knee flexion. And then the soleus, it originates on the tibia and fibula, and it has many points of origin on the tibia and fibula, and it all merges into the Achilles tendon like the gastrocnemius. So the soleus carries on one function, well, many functions, but one primary function, which is plantar flexion, which is pretty much decreasing the angle between your shin and your toes. Think of it that way, where you're just pointing your toes downward. So the function of all of this in its entirety are plantar flexion, like I said, and then they provide constant tension or constant pull on your legs in order to keep you upright. So without your calves, and if you were standing upright and you don't have any calf muscles, you would be falling forward. So the calves, they help kind of contract and bring your body to an upright position, and they help stabilize you when you're standing. You have a bunch of other muscles in your lower leg, but these are the more dominant ones when it comes to stability when you're standing. Next, like I said, we have knee flexion, which your gastrocnemius partakes in. Now for the exercises, there's many you can do. They all lead back into the same thing, which is plantar flexion. So we have our standing calf raise, seated calf raise, and donkey calf raise. These exercises are all pretty much based off of raising your heel off the ground. Now, ideally, you want to have your feet on some sort of platform or your toes on a platform in order for you to get a better stretch in your calves when doing the exercise. So when you get your toes onto the platform, what you want to do is bring your heel below the level of the platform and then raise it above the level of the platform. Now, one thing I learned when doing calf raises is that a lot of people tend to raise themselves onto their toes, which is the right thing to do, but they're doing it on the wrong toes. They're raising themselves on all their toes except their big toe. Now what this is doing is putting a lot more emphasis on the medial head of the gastrocnemius. Now, like I said, the gastrocnemius has two heads, and if you were to turn around and face that direction, this would be your right calf. So you have a lateral head and a medial head of the gastrocnemius. Lateral head is to the outside of your body, medial head towards the inside of your body. So if you were to point your toes outward when doing a calf raise, you would be doing more work for the medial head of the gastrocnemius. Now if you point your toes inward when you're doing a calf raise, you get more lateral head of the gastrocnemius work. Now, ideally you want to get the best of both worlds. So what you can do is just do toes pointed forward and then raise yourself onto your big toe. Now instead of doing only this, of course you can do your toes pointed in other directions if you feel like one head is lagging behind the other. So that's kind of a little trick you can do if you feel like your calves aren't really up to par and you want to get them at a decent proportion or decent size. And Also, I have a little tip for you guys here. Standing calf raises work more of the gastrocnemius. So when you're standing up, you're decreasing the angle between your calf and your hamstring. So when you stand up, your leg is going to be straight or close to straight. Now what this does is it pulls off some of the slack from the gastrocnemius. It sort of lengthens the muscle. Now what this is going to do is allow you to get a better contraction through the gastrocnemius. Now since the soleus isn't attached to the femur or your upper thigh bone, and it's only on your tibia and fibula, this means that the soleus gets more work when you're doing seated calf raises, because through seated calf raises you're increasing the angle between your femur and your calf. So what this does is it gives the gastrocnemius slack, and when it gives it slack, you don't have the ability to get a full contraction of that muscle. So the soleus takes over when doing this sort of calf raise or plantar flexion. So that's pretty much it for the calf. There's not really much to it. Although the calf is, very important in our everyday life, like walking or going up the stairs, jogging, running, jumping, all sorts of things, the calf is a muscle that's very used to being, used daily. Not all our muscles in our body are used daily to the extent that the calf is. If you have a job where you're walking around all the time, or you have to walk to work, or you're walking in school, or that sort of thing. So the calf is a muscle that's very accustomed to work. So in order to make them grow and induce hypertrophy, you have to really put a lot of stress on them when you're working out. Now, I'm not saying that you have to do heavy weight, but I'm saying you have to do sort of higher volume, because they are used to being used for long periods of time. So you do have to use high volume with pretty good weight, where you can, get maybe 15 to 20 reps per set for the calves. Now, if you feel like your calves are imbalanced, meaning like you have one calf larger than the other calf, then you can do single leg calf raises and you can even that out. But that's pretty much it. There's not really much to the calves. There's two main muscle groups, gastrocnemius and soleus, and the gastrocnemius has two heads. And yeah, so if you want to see more things like this, head over to UCGym.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yesterday, you said tomorrow, so just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it!